Hello, my name is Stephen Hollingsworth. Um, this is a presentation on Xvidcap and how to use it to capture screencast output with audio. A special thanks to Carl Beckers for developing this program, which I'm going to be giving this presentation on, and all the hard work that he has done on this. Let's begin by starting in the directory where Xvidcap is going to be, the AVI file is going to be started. In this particular case, it'll be, I'll go into my mount directory, laptop home, video, and then I have my tutorial directory. So, as you see here, I have nothing in it, and if I were to do a df-h, which is disk file system -h human readable, it'll tell me what I have available on this particular volume, which is mounted here. So I have 14 gigs to work with. So for this tutorial, I should be good. Let's go ahead and clear the screen, and let's start a Xvidcap. Let's start a new session. So what we're going to do is type Xvidcap and then start it, and it'll bring up another screen, something like this, with a red rectangular box, that being the staging area for the video itself. Let's go over a couple of the different settings in Xvidcap itself. Now, like I said before, when you start Xvidcap from the command line, it is going to save the file name, whatever file name you prefer, to into the directory where you start it from. So this is kind of an important thing if you're going to be capturing a large presentation or whatnot. Anyhow, so let's get started on what the different things in Xvidcap do, what version I'm running, and the different utilities that you'll need later on, which when it comes to combining different videos and whatnot, we'll get into that a little bit later. But for now, depending on what distribution you're running, you would install the package Xvidcap, which can be found on SourceForge. Ignore the red screen here. This is the developer page for, let's close out Xvidcap for the time being. This is the developer page for Xvidcap. Head developer is Carl H. Beckers. And if we go to the summary page, and then we go to the download page, we'll see a couple different versions down here on the file releases. Apparently the version of Xvidcap that's latest is 1.14 RC1, which is what I'm running and using. They have a previous version which has audio capability, and then they have the original version, which is, or I should say, previous versions all the way down to the original Xvidcap version, which is here. I'd recommend, if at all possible, installing the latest and greatest, which is 1.14 RC1, which is what I'm going to be using. The Xvidcap project page is here at xvidcap.sourceforge.net. On this page, you'll find Carl's videos. He's got two videos here, video 1 and video 2, that outline how to use Xvidcap and this is kind of where I got my start as far as learning how to use the program and what inspired this tutorial. Anyhow, let's go ahead and close out of the sourceforge.net, and we'll move on from here. Now let's restart Xvidcap and go over some of the various settings that are in here for doing a screencast, which is what is being presented right now. Okay, so you'll come up with a screen much like this, and it starts at the stop recording point, which is meaning it's not doing anything at the time. You have pause, you have start recording, and then you have the move cursor to the next movie button, which allows you to stop and then move the video over, depending on what your file naming conventions are, and start a new recording. Take, for instance, if you wanted to take a break or if something interrupted you, you could tell it to stop the recording, and then when you come back, you increment the level. As you see here, it'll start to increment the file names over and over, and you can back into that or back out or what have you. This button here, which is detach selection frame, will allow you to detach the frame, and the recording session, which is this red box here, will remain in a stationary position. When you press this again, the frame will come to it, and this allows you to move the frame at its current size anywhere on the video screen that you want. This tool here is the select the area to capture. So take for instance, if I were to select this and then tell it that I wanted to select this area, it would just select that area. If you click on this selection and then you click on the desktop background, which I'm not going to do now, it would select your whole screen area. In my case, it's 1600 by 900. It's quite a big screen, but I'm just capturing a very small area. This is rather nested, the Xvidcap, the way I'm doing it right now. But this is how you trace out your area, and if you wanted to detach it, you could do so and draw out the area without you having to move it around. In order to move this screen area around, you have to attach the selection to the frame. You can do so. Now the file settings that are going to be incorporated into this, most of which you're going to select, are going to be in when you right mouse click on the file area here, and then you go into preferences, you'll see that you have a couple different options. Let's go back here and decrease the file selection area. Well, we'll move this out of the way for the time being. Anyhow, in the preferences here, you'll see that it'll ask you if you want to capture your mouse pointer, what the default capture mode is, if it's single frame or multi-frame. Multi-frame is movie format right out of the gate. Single frame would be capturing images one by one. When it says capture mouse pointer, you can tell it you want your mouse pointer to be black or white. Say capture geometry would be the geometry of the capture area, which is outlined in red here. Um, shared memory is something that would save you time. You don't want to deselect that. Uh, Auto continue is a feature that's enabled that allows you to increment your frames, so you can stop recording and then start recording again. And then after you're all done, it'll show you a result dialog where you can start at the where it'll start the movie that you just created. For right now, we'll focus on the multi-frame tab. Single frame has its different naming context and file format and what have you. Multi-frame, which is what we'll be focusing on right now, is you have a file name. The percentage 04D is a variable that Xvidcap uses to name the file. If we bring this back and we were to look at this, you have test-0000. Now, what this is telling you is that the percentage sign is saying that we have 4 digits incrementing one by one. So when we increment or decrease, it's going by 1, and you have 4 digits in that area, and then you have an extension of MPEG. Anyhow, file formats, you have a lot of different codecs you can use. I would recommend just using the default, and then I take that back. File format, you have different types of file formats that you can use. I would recommend just selecting default for what we're doing right now, and then you have video codecs, which have various uses depending on what you want to do, how you want to do it. Frames per second. Now this is kind of important because when you start recording, you'll see this this status bar here will go from green to yellow to red. Now when it's all green, it's pretty much capturing all the frames that you're having. When it goes to yellow, it starts to degrade in performance, and when you go to red, as you'll see in a little while, you'll see it start to go up and down. That means you're dropping a lot of frames, and that's not good. A lot of this depends on your processing speed and how much RAM you have. So you really need to be careful if you try to set your frame rate up to be something like 30 frames per second. Which is quite a bit for doing desktop capturing or screencasting like we're doing. I find that 10 frames per second works just fine on a pretty fast machine. If you find that the portion that's capturing is going into the yellow and the red a lot, that your machine probably isn't fast enough to do capturing like it is. If that's the case, you very likely need to decrease the frames per second rate. Here with maximum time and maximum frames, you can tell it what the maximum time frame is in minutes or seconds, I should say. And then the maximum frames is how many frames you want to record. If you had a set limit as far as time or frames, you would put it there. Quality is a lot like what you would find in a JPEG. The larger the quality, the closer to 100%, the more space it's going to use on your hard drive, the better it's going to look. As you decrease it, the smaller it's going to be, but the quality is going to go down. So that's something to take in mind. You can leave it at the default, which is at 65%, or you could bump it up to 100. It's completely up to you. This type of stuff would vary. Now, in this particular situation, I'm using a Xvidcap session inside an Xvidcap session. So I don't want to use the audio in this particular case. This is much like what Carl has in his tutorial. So I wanna disable that. We'll leave the file name at test MPEG and frames per second at 10 and the quality at 65, which would be fine. And then here in commands, you'll see what it will do as far as the help command, which if you try it, it'll bring up a man page that will give you all the different switches that you can start Xvidcap with on the command line. A lot of helpful information here. It's well documented, and it gives you, take for instance, the various variables that you can put in. This is where you would find out what the program does, how it does it, what different things mean, and how you can get information. You have the encoding command, which is what you would use to do single frame capture. Playback command, same thing. This is all the single frame stuff, and the edit command using GIMP to edit individual frame files. Then you have the multi-frame command. By default here it uses mplayer. You could put in something like Xine if you wanted, Xine. The transcode command, and then you have the edit command, which at this point in time doesn't have anything on there. Anyhow, those are the basics as far as the getting through the Xvidcap basics. And go ahead and cancel out of this. When you first start Xvidcap, this is what you'll see. Right mouse click, go to preferences if you want. If you have preferences that keep on a regular basis, click Save Preferences. Multi-frame capture is what I'm doing now, which is a video clip. Single frame capture would be a series of image files. Auto continue. Basically, what this does is that if I'm going to be pausing or stopping and starting my video, every time I stop the video, it's not going to bring up the summary page, which allows me to play the video. It's one of those things where it doesn't say I'm done when I'm done, because I'm going to be incrementing my video. I'm going to take a quick break right now, and when we get back, we will talk about how to use Xvidcap and give some examples.